Hi, Tony DeWitt here, Missouri appellate attorney and a guy who likes to make the law make sense on YouTube. Now, I know what you're thinking. You're probably thinking somebody really didn't like one of my videos and took it out on me personally. But that isn't the case. I'll explain in a minute. We're going to talk today about what is malpractice and what is not malpractice because I think a lot of people don't understand the difference. I'll have more on that in just a moment. So recently, I went and had a correction procedure done to correct a problem that I had in my first cataract surgery. The first time I had cataract surgery, they put in a lens in my left eye that I could not focus. No matter what I did, I could not focus. And the doctor explained to me at the time that he had done all of the correct measurements and that they had done them twice, that they were consistent, and that he put in the lens that was appropriate. Well, not only did I have that problem, but a couple of days after the surgery, I developed a terrible infection. And the infection wasn't in one eye, it was in both eyes. So that was certainly an issue that had to get taken care of. And as a result of that, I continued to go back for postoperative care. And when I went back and asked if there was something that could be done on my right eye where I could have a better lens, because they make these lenses called extended depth of focus lenses, he was unwilling to do that. And he really did not have a good answer for that. So I changed doctors. The doctor that I changed to was able to, in May, replace the lens that was put in that was incorrect and did it flawlessly. And then on Tuesday of this last week, I had the surgery for my right eye, and it's why you have this issue with the swelling. If you look carefully here, you can see that the right eye is really pretty red and streaky, and that's just the way life goes sometimes when you're having some kind of surgery. And also, I love the fact that they indicated that it was the right eye by putting an X above my forehead. But I really wish they hadn't put it in with a permanent marker because it doesn't scrub off. Anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit about what is malpractice and what is not. Malpractice, when I tell people about malpractice, what I say is somebody either does something that no reasonable practitioner would do, or they fail to do something that every reasonable practitioner would do. So when people would ask me about why I didn't sue for the first time for malpractice because they put the wrong lens in, the fact is he did all of the appropriate testing, and at least as far as I knew, he did all of the appropriate testing, and he got a bad result. A lot of times people feel that a bad result is necessarily malpractice, and it absolutely is not. A bad result is a bad result. You can have a bad result when people don't do anything wrong. And so it makes a little bit of sense that people feel that a bad result is the result of negligence, because sometimes it is. But probably more often than not, it really isn't. And for example, the infection. The problem with suing over an infection, and whether it's an eye infection or an infection anywhere in your body after surgery, is that you can't get personal service on the entity that is at fault. The entity that is at fault is the bacteria or the virus that's causing the infection. It isn't the doctor unless, he dropped the lens on the floor, picked it up, dusted it off and stuck it in my eye, and he didn't do that. So it's not, you have to do something more than just have a bad result or an infection in order for there to be negligence. Now, in this case, in the case of this eye, I didn't get a perfect outcome. A perfect outcome would have let me see close up and far away. As it is, I can see far away terrifically, but I can't see close up terrifically. But that's okay, because in my left eye, I can see close up perfectly and not so good far away. So it actually worked out the way many people have their eyes done when they do LASIK or radiokeratotomy. And as a result of that, I'm fine with the outcome. And I think sometimes, a lot of times, people, when they go in for a medical procedure, they expect perfection. If you expect perfection from your doctor, you are always going to be disappointed, because doctors are not magicians. They're not godlike creatures. They can't guarantee a result, and most of them are smart enough not to. So I point all of this out by way of talking about what is malpractice. For example, somebody goes in to their doctor's office and they have a really, really bad cold and they're coughing stuff up, and the doctor doesn't check them for COVID. And they go back a second time and they say, I'm coughing this stuff up and I can't breathe. I'm really having trouble at night. I can't sleep laying down. I have to sleep in my chair because I can't breathe. And the doctor hands them an antibiotic and sends them on their way. Doesn't do a chest x-ray, doesn't take any lab work, none of that stuff. He just says, you got a little bronchitis, you'll be fine. Well, that can certainly be negligence. Obviously, a practitioner who knew what he was doing would take a chest x-ray, give some lab work, and do that kind of thing in order to make sure that it wasn't something. And particularly now with COVID, he would take a COVID test. If that individual winds up dying, you can count on a wrongful death claim being filed, because he didn't do things that a reasonable practitioner would always do. I would have to say that most of the things that people think are malpractice are probably not. But if you think you have suffered at the hands of any professional, whether it's a doctor, a lawyer, an accountant, or someone else, you should go see an attorney and have your case evaluated. An attorney can gather the records, can get an expert to look at those records, and they can give you a good analysis of whether you have been harmed by professional incompetence or by negligence. So I hope you found this interesting or helpful. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments down below. If you haven't already, please go over here and subscribe to our channel. And thank you again for listening and for commenting on my videos. I really appreciate all of the comments, and we'll catch you on here next time. Thanks.